CBS Evening News is at the edge of collapse, facing a level of dysfunction under Bari Weiss like we have never seen before. At least, that's what the legacy media wants you to believe. And to that end, they'll say it again and again and again, even if it isn't true. So what if instead of repeating the propaganda, we go ahead and show you how CBS is really doing under its new direction? The results just might shock you and show you why the dinosaur outlets are petrified.
What do you want to say to her father right now?
Well, I want to say to the father that I love all of our people. They can be on the other side. As you say, he might be on my side.
He is on your side.
And I think that's great.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Pro Channel. It is a very cool Sunday out there, and you're a very cool person as well. Unless you're down there in Florida, there's very few places in the United States that are not frozen. But hey, Florida looks that way. Folks, we're not frozen. We're ready to bring you the news. As we do, click the like button. Drop a comment down below. The time is ripe to hit the hype button if you see it. And folks, here we go. I want to show you first why they're desperate to destroy CBS Evening News, then we'll get into it. This is an interview that the new guy, Tony DeCoppel, managed to snag with President Trump. And of course, President Trump is not giving interviews to these other network news outlets and to their main anchors anymore. He's got a buddy, he's got a friend at CBS. Well, at least he thinks he has somebody that he can count on to be moderated and in the middle. Here's the interview. We'll show it to you, and then I'll show you the response.
I've got an important question about the situation in Minnesota, the death of Renee Nicole Good. I've been speaking to her father, who is a big supporter of yours, like many Americans are, but he's heartbroken right now.
I can understand it.
He's heartbroken because his daughter is dead, that's obvious. He's also heartbroken because your administration so quickly has come out and said she's a domestic terrorist. What do you want to say to her father right now?
Well, I want to say to the father that I love all of our people. They can be on the other side. As you say, he might be on my side.
He is on your side.
And I think that's great. And I do. I think it's great. And I would bet you that she, under normal circumstances, was a very solid, wonderful person. But, you know, her actions were pretty tough. I mean, I've seen it many ways and many different shapes and forms.
Well, hold there, folks. That's all you need to see. A nuanced interview with the President of the United States where the President comes out and says, hate that it happened. Under normal circumstances, maybe she was a good person. That's, from President Trump, that's about as good as you're going to get, right? Okay. So how are the dinosaur media outlets handling CBS Evening News, doing what it's doing now? Well, despite Tony DeCoppel giving a pretty good question, pretty tough question, you can see the Daily Beast not happy with him. William Vaillancourt, probably. Mugger-coated anchor scores lowest ratings of the century for CBS News. Is it true? Is that true? We'll show you in just a second. They're losing their minds. They really are. They're losing their minds over this. Tony DeCoppel is looking at a rough January Nielsen data shows. Here's what the Daily Beast is telling you. The new look CBS Evening News is on track for its least viewed January since at least the turn of the millennium. Whoa, Nelly! Nielsen data obtained by the New York Post show that newly installed anchor Tony DeCoppel hasn't delivered in the ratings department despite having marketed himself as more accountable and more transparent than Walter Cronkite. Since DeCoppel's debut on January 5th, CBS Evening's show has brought in an average of 4.3 million viewers per night, 560,000 of whom are between the 25 and 54 years old crowd, its lowest rated January since at least 2000. Overall ratings are down approximately 20% from this time last year when Norah O'Donnell hosted the show. Now, you all know, I'm sure, that last January was the inauguration and the news cycle was hot. Therefore, lots of people were tuning in. But what about these numbers? Are they true? Let's find out. Well, just so you know, it's not only the Daily Beast. I would never want you to believe that we're cherry picking here. Look at the Hollywood Reporter. And I'm about to turn the Hollywood Reporter on itself. They love it when I do that. THR, Kevin Dullock. Bari Weiss takes hiatus from podcast as turmoil mounts at CBS News. Oh, Bari Weiss, what are you going to do? You're going to fail. By the way, she cannot be removed. And I'm going to tell you what they're up to, okay? She cannot be removed. There's like $150 million invested in her by the Ellisons. She is going nowhere. And they know that. But I know what they're up to, and I'll show you what all of this effort is about. The network's new editor-in-chief is set to focus more on her new gig as a bloodbath. You all remember the time, too, when that was a word that they used against the president. You remember years and years ago about that? Bloodbath reportedly looms over 60 Minutes. Oh, no, a bloodbath. As Bari Weiss's bumpy tenure as the top editorial honcho At CBS News nears the 4-month mark, the millennial opinion writer turned broadcast exec announced that she has taken a hiatus from the podcast she's hosted for 4 years. Oh my gosh. What will she do? Look, there's that $150 million I told you about they've invested in her. Again, they can't get rid of her. The legacy media, they're not going to get rid of her. The Ellisons are not going to fire her. She would have to do something criminal for them to get rid of her. So what's the legacy news up to? Well, first of all, let's get to the truth of it. Let's use the Hollywood Reporter against itself. They love it. I said, they love it when we do this. Rick Porter, TV ratings. CBS Evening News edges up. In Tony DeCoppel's second week, 60 Minutes takes big hit. Why did 60 Minutes take a big hit? A previously shelved 60 Minute story was given a spot on the January 18th telecast opposite an NFL playoff game on NBC. Oh, wait a minute. That's that misconstrued or misleading segment that Bari Weiss told them they had to go back and redo because it was so screwed up. And then they leaked the thing, and so everybody's seen it. Oh, that's why. Oh, they didn't tell you that, did they? But they did tell you that CBS Evening News is going up. Now, wait a minute. How can that be? How can that possibly be, folks? Mega-coated anchor scores lowest ratings of the century for CBS News. How can that be? How can that be? Bari Weiss takes hiatus from podcast. How can all these things be true if this is also true? CBS News ratings going up. How's that possible? Let me read a little bit of it and then I'll explain the game. The second week of Tony DeCoppel's term as CBS Evening News anchor drew a slightly larger audience than the first. The network 60 Minutes, however, took a sizable hit as it aired a previously shelved story about conditions at a Salvadoran prison, which, by the way, they leaked. The people who were angry at Bari Weiss, the trolls inside her own organization, they leaked it. And guess what? Everybody's already seen it, so nobody watched it. And it's proof positive for Bari Weiss that nobody wanted to see it in the first place. The CBS Evening News averaged 4.19 million total viewers for the week of January 12th, 584,000 adults, 25 to 54. That's the demo. The core ad demographic for news programming. It's the only number that really matters. It's who buys the stuff that the advertisers are paying for. Both figures improved slightly on DeCoppel's first full week and on the newscast prior average for the 25-26 season. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that this is better than they did on average all of last year and it's going up? Well, wait a minute. We were told by the Daily Beast it's the worst of the century. What is happening here? Daily Caller, throwing that ad up in our face, has this one. CBS Evening News rakes in higher ratings despite liberals moaning. It says CBS Evening News achieved its largest audience since 2021 on Monday. Lowest of the century, right? You all remember that? Lowest of the century? Marking a major victory for the network's editor-in-chief, Bari Weiss, the program reeled in 6.4 million viewers on January 12th and averaged 803,000 viewers in the key 25 to 54-year age demographic, CBS News public relations team announced on Thursday. The major milestone for the network came months after liberals raged about Weiss stepping into her current role in October. The program has been hosted by Tony DeCoppel since January 5th. You all know that. So these things cannot all be true. And here's what they're up to. I'll explain it now. From CBS's own stats they like to give out, it says CBS Evening News with Tony DeCoppel grew 10% in adults 25 to 54 versus the premiere week, according to Nielsen Big Data. The first 2 weeks of the new CBS Evening News is up 4% in viewers and 13% in adults 25 to 54 compared with the prior season. Folks, the name of the game here is that prior to the Ellisons getting hold of this, and bringing in Bari Weiss, CBS News was in a total freefall. Bari Weiss has made changes now this January, and the ratings are going up. It's being fixed. And what has the legacy network, dinosaur media, all in a frenzy? What has them terrified? This number right here, plus 10% in the demo, because it's the only number that matters. Now, I'm not here to tell you that if you're living in assisted living and you're tuning into us right now, that you don't count. I'm not here to tell you if you're an 18-year-old and you're really interested in politics and you've started watching the news, you're listening to me right now. I'm not going to tell you that you don't count. But in terms of what the advertisers are paying for, they only care about the demo, 25 to 54, 25 to 54. And these other news outlets, they have massive numbers in the octogenarian categories. Older people listen to the news. And guess what? On TV, especially linear TV, we all know that young people and the demo have left the building. They've exited. They're gone. They're on YouTube. They're on TikTok. They're on Instagram. They're not watching TV anymore. Not the traditional way. And Tony DeCoppel, under Bari Weiss, in just his second week, grew by 10% in that group. 10%. So, folks, if you want to know, what are they terrified of? They're terrified that the most important demographic out there, in terms of advertisers, in terms of influence, that they're going to CBS and they're growing on CBS. Now, I told you they can't get rid of Bari Weiss. She's not going away. So what's the play here? Well, Tony DeCoppel is not a conservative fella, and he's not married to a conservative woman. And I think the play here is to try to convince him as quickly as they can, before the numbers get big, before he sits there and says, hey, this worked. I like where I am. I'm catching up with the big dogs. I'm almost up with ABC and NBC, and we might get the lead one day. Before he gets that in his head, run him out of there. Make him feel like he is a scab. Make him feel like he absolutely made the worst decision of his life, and get him out of there now. That's the play. That's the plan. MAGA coded. This guy's married to a very liberal MSNBC lady. MAGA coded. That's the play, folks. That's what they're up to. That's why they'll mislead you. Are they technically accurate in some ways? Well, that's the best way of being right when you don't want to actually tell the truth, eh? Technically. But when you look at the real numbers, the numbers that matter, up since Bari Weiss took over, up since Tony DeCoppel took over, 10% up in the second week with young people. And that has ABC, NBC, CNN, MS Now, The Daily Beast, The Cause, and all the rest of them shaking in their little misleading booties, because they know that he's bringing the goodies to the American people. And if this works, they're going to have to moderate as well. And by golly, they don't want to do that. Folks, that is the video for this Sunday morning. Hope you're staying warm. Get near the fireplace if you have one. The furnace will do. Don't burn yourself. Not that close. Stay away. Folks, don't stay away from the like button. Share, subscribe, drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And if you have not become a part of the Pro Channel subscription service, we're bringing you 4 new videos every single day. So do not fret, not yet, for we will bring you all the stuff you need to know shortly, every 4 hours, every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on our way. We'll see you real soon. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Wilton, what are you doing?
Well, word on the street is the culture war has officially made it to the doorstep of that Park Place. And I realized Jonas has no one there who loves him. So I thought I should go and protect them.
Yeah, okay. You know that's not, how you do this, right?
Do what? Fight? Don't worry, Floral. I will not be intimidated by a criminal threat.
Threat? Wilton, don't be ridiculous.
What does it matter to me? I have only one life to lose.
I mean, I totally expected you to die walking into traffic, but,
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
Okay, just stop. This is just nonsense. You already have one of the easiest and most effective tools and weapons at your fingertips.
My axe?
No. The truth. Stay smart and ready to tell and share the truth by keeping up to date with WDW Pro, That Park Place, as well as Valiant Renegade.
And Jonas? I mean, he does things with Vash, and that's not very reassuring. That's like putting 2 helpless chipmunks into a piranha pond.
That's neither true nor accurate. Unlike the team from That Park Place.
Sue me.
Ugh.